Hello, people. Second video of the day, because this is what I am moved to do. There have been two. I go out and work in the garden, and I have my MP3 ears on, and I listen to things. There have been two things this week that have been close to annoying me. Normally it's just information. I'm working away and information is coming in. If I like it, run it back. If I really like it, play it through again, And these two, I had to be working away and not shouting out loud, but shouting at them while working away. And it'll give you an idea of what happens up here, which might help for the future, or maybe not. Just interesting information, maybe. The first one was the thing that's been pointed out to me now 3 times, maybe because it involves Krugman slightly, was the econ talk with Don Boudreau. Russ Roberts, who presents it normally with Don. So Russ and Don having an attack at Krugman. Now this was all coming from Don, who's bullied Russ into going along with him and putting out a whole show, 1-hour econ talk, I'll probably link below, showing how wrong Krugman is about something. Now I wasn't shouting at all about it, that they were right or wrong in their arguments. They were idiot, clever arguments. Or stupid, clever arguments, and that's not a slip of the tongue. They were stupid, clever arguments, as in they were just manufactured arguments for the sake of arguing. They're from George Mason University. They've got this free market ideology, mainly Austrian, and they were just coming at it from an Austrian point of view and making Austrian points against Krugman, who was not sitting there. And just between them got all excited and went all over it. And it was, I've listened to how many, 4 years, 5 years of all the econ talks that there have been, and this was the most pathetic show I've come across. It was pathetic to me, and the reason I was shouting while I was out there, not because of the arguments, because of the stuck in their minds idea of what they had. They have this Austrian idea, this free market, whatever it is, and it was just an excuse to get it out and play with it, and the two of them were just playing with it. But the annoying thing was they were just egging each other on and not giving Krugman a chance. He wasn't there to be given a chance. They just had their made up arguments, and this is what they were going to do, all based on the stuff that's taught at the university, and that's what they get paid to teach, etc. It was just stuck in the mind bollocks. The arguments I didn't even like, which made it even worse, but it was just their stuck in their ways thing of it. And it's what, if anything's ever going to annoy me, it's talking to people that are stuck in their ways. If it's free market this, that or the other, that is one of the ones that really annoys me the most, when you're talking to somebody in a new way. Even this Krugman argument, which was an old argument, but them coming at it just boom, in just a totally and utterly stuck way. And it's people like this that are just stuck, standing in a trash can, banging their heads with the lids. Bang, bang, bang. That really gets me going. Now, Russ would not have done this on his own. It's just that more Don took over and bullied him into doing it this way. But even Russ, over the last 6 months or even 18 months, he has somebody on every week, a different way of listening to things each week, and I listen pretty attentively, and I can just feel what's going on. And when information comes in that doesn't gel with what the university teaches, you can feel him go as in uncomfortable what to do with this, and he might just let it roll on a bit and then talk into it a bit, but really it's kind of pushed away, and it's this kind of stuck in the mud thinking, or as I see it, stuck in a trash can, banging your head with a lid thinking, that Krugman has, and so many of these economists have, and so many people around the world have, that is going to cause, has caused most all of the problems that we'll ever have. Right, so that was that. Very annoying. The other thing, I was a speech by, I should have checked, but it was, I think it was the Brookings Institute, and it was a git called Westerwelle, or Westerwelle, or I think he's the German foreign minister or something like that. I really should check. But he was thoroughly annoying as well, because everything he said was so logical and sensible and practical and reasonable, and the way he said it was all of those things as well. But the problem he's dealing with in Europe, and the Eurozone problems, are none of those things. They're not reasonable, logical, sensible, practical, or practicable. They are just not, they cannot be dealt with in that German square-headed, yeah, this is the sensible way of doing things, doing things. It just can't happen that way. It won't happen that way. The problems are people problems, and it's just gone, ugh, and trying to go, this is the way we can do it. I retweeted this week that Germans are the most, a Churchill quote, I think it was, that as soon as the Germans are knocked off a course, it was during the Second World War this quote came from, they are the worst at going to Plan B. Basically, it was a war plan by the Allies, wherever they can, see what the Germans were trying to do and just knock them off that course. And then you could get an advantage, because they are just no good at thinking on their feet. They have to have a plan and stick to that plan. And this is what this Westerwelle chap was absolutely and totally up to. And you could see he was trying to force a plan on Europe like this. A straight lines if we can go to, and everything will be all right. And he's probably like Russ and Don. Absolutely and totally right. But fucking dangerous. Because it's that sort of, we will go this way, or we think this way, or we do think this way, sort of thinking that breaks things, because they won't get out of that channel of thinking. And this is what gets annoyed with me in comments, when people stick to some sort of, this is what I think, this is what I know. And when you, in comments, I read lots of comments in Financial Times, all blog sections and all that, and you can find the people that are a nuisance. I'll just call them a nuisance. They go blah 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 blah. Okay, then somebody comes in with a comment that says, well, don't you think that this and this, and then they go blah 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 blah. They just repeat themselves, and the other person comes in with an angle, a different angle, coming in with, well, obviously you didn't understand that one. How about, well, this, and this, surely this, and this. And then they go, blah, 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 blah again. And then the conversation breaks down. You can almost guarantee the person that does the blah, 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 repeat, is stuck in the mud and just stuck in the mind, standing in a trash can, banging his head with the lid. No real understanding of what they're saying is there. It's just something they have learnt to say, and bang, they'll bang it out, bang, bang, bang. And it's the people that can come at things with at different angles, one angle, two angles, and they normally give up, but they're capable of coming in and explaining themselves in different analogies, from different angles, in different ways, and they can do that because they understand what they are talking about. And it's those people that impress me in comment sections, or the way that they do writing, that they can explain things in different ways, because for my mind that is an exhibition of somebody that understands things, because they can explain it in many different ways. and try and explain it in many different ways. And the idiots are the stuck-in-the-bin people that go clang, clang, clang. And I see an awful lot of those clang people. Ron and Russ was forced into it, Vestavele, and a lot of people in comments are just clang, clang, clang people. And they're the people that get me annoyed. They might even be right. They could well be right. But it's not the sort of stuff that I am attracted to. Their rightness is irrelevant to me then, if they're just going to go clang, 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 because they could well be right, but it's just not attractive to me. It's the people that have really obviously churned things over, seen things from different angles, obviously tried to see things from different angles, and then seen what they're thinking about and talking about can be explained from different angles. They're the people that attract me. Right, well, that sounded like a bit of a rant to me, but maybe it helps. Thanks again. Bye.